This is the Alice in Vapeland review, the Oddity Sampler Part 2. Just disclaimer, the reason my makeup is like this, you can probably hear fireworks going on in the background. It's 4th of July, at least for the next couple minutes, and I did my makeup because of that, or inspired by that, or whatever. Anyway, moving on, I'm going to go past these last flavors. There are 2 flavors that you get in here that I've already done reviews on, so I'm not going to talk about them too much, but I will mention them. And then at the end, I'll go over all of them, because there's 8 flavors, and put them in order from, you know, my most favorite to least favorite, so it's a kind of like a recap type thing. Anyway, first one I'm going to talk about is Golden Afternoon, and it is a almond butter cookie, and it tastes, that's exactly what it tastes like. It tends to be more buttery at the lower wattages, which I don't really like, or I don't prefer. It's not a bad juice in any wattage, so it's not like it's super buttery at the lower wattages. I just prefer it as least, or as less buttery as possible. I don't know, that doesn't sound right, but whatever. It's late, I'm tired. My preferred wattage, and this is with a, I think it was like a 0.9 or a 1 ohm coil. It was best at between 15 and 20 watts. Lower than that, I think I did like 11 and 13, because 13 seemed to be, for a while at least, my preferred wattage for these juices. But as I've been tinkering around with things, I've been kind of increasing my wattage, but I'll talk about that some other time, because I want to stick to the topic at hand. But anyway, it was good. The almond in it is very authentic tasting. It's not like an almond extract flavor where it's like very alcohol-y or anything like that. It's very, you know, real tasting. It tastes like a real butter almond cookie, with almond being, I would say, like kind of the main flavor, but the butter is like very, the butter cookie is like very close to behind it. It's all around kind of subtle flavor. It's not super bold, but keep in mind I do dilute my juices to some extent because I have to add VG to it. Otherwise, they're a little bit too high in PG, because they don't tell you what the ratios are. But judging by how they kind of like move, some of them are thicker than others, but I always add VG to it. So the flavors might be a little bit more pronounced for you, depending on how you vape, what you vape with, and all that good stuff. But it's a good flavor. I personally don't like dessert vapes very much. I find them, like, I get sick of them pretty easily. So, I don't know, it's not personally my thing, but it is a good flavor. Next one is 11th Rose. This one was very perfumey at first, a very offensive kind of perfume, like a old, it just reminds me of like an old lady or potpourri or something like that. And I don't like the way that fake rose smell, like anything that's like artificial rose flavored or scented or anything like that. I don't like that. I like when it smells or tastes like a real rose. And not to say that I go around eating roses, but like, I don't know, I've had like tea with rose in it, and I don't know, it just has a different flavor and everything than, you know, an artificial one. Luckily, after a couple weeks, I think it was like maybe 2 weeks after I bought it, it calmed down quite a lot. And I especially liked it in the tank, because that again kind of made it, you know, even calmer than just dripping it. In the end, it ended up I still got mainly rose, but I guess there's supposedly lychee in it as well. But considering the fact that I've never had a lychee, like the actual fruit or whatever, I couldn't tell you what that's supposed to taste like. I have heard that it can be very perfumey, or it is perfumey, even in its real form or whatever. But I can tell you that I've had a lot of flavorings that are lychee flavored, and it can get perfumey really quick. So just based upon that, I don't know. I get mainly rose. I guess lychee kind of complements the rose, or is very similar to the rose, but I still mainly get that. And then I guess there's supposed to be raspberry as well. Again, I think it's more of like a back note type thing where it's supposed to bring out certain, I don't know, bring out certain complexities of the rose or the lychee or whatever. I don't really know. I don't really get raspberry, but I don't know. Raspberry I have found in my personal endeavors with DIY that it's good in enhancing other flavors in like very small amounts. Like for strawberry, for example, you can add a little bit of raspberry, and I'm talking like a little bit. Like you can either do drop by drop or you can do like 0.5%, and it'll bring out more of the strawberry. It's, I don't know. I personally prefer raspberry as a back note kind of flavor. But yeah, I really do like this 11th Rose. It tastes identical to a Asian candy that I got recently. I don't know if you're going to have it by you or even know what it is, but it's called Striking Pop Candy, and it comes in like this really loud packaging. It's like looks like a cutout of a explosion or something, and it was only like $1 or something. So I picked it up while I was at the Asian market, and I got lychee and like watermelon or something, and the lychee one tastes exactly like this. So either that candy had rose in it as well, because I mean it tasted exactly the same, or lychee and rose are very similar. I don't really know, but it's very good. It's actually, outside of the one flavor that I've already tried before, and then, you know, I'll talk about that later, but it's my favorite of the ones I haven't tried. The next one is Bombana, and it's essentially a banana milk, and it's probably the best, not that I've tried a lot, you know, many different ones, but it's definitely the best milk flavored juice that I've tried. And I'm very hesitant, and I try to stay away from milky type things because it's very easy to get it to taste like rancid or spoiled, at least in my, I mean, everyone's different, and I know there's plenty of other people that like certain flavors that I can't stand, but like, I don't know, I'm kind of afraid to vape milk flavored things. Even the yogurt flavor that I got recently is like, I've been kind of weary of it, like, I don't know, very careful with it, I guess, but it's a very good flavor. At 13 to 15 watts, it tastes like a banana milk. At 20 watts, it tastes like a banana bread. So depending on what you like or which you prefer, you can kind of mess around with the wattages. And the banana in it is probably the most authentic banana that I've tried as far as like vaping it. I do possibly get a small hint of that fake banana runts type thing, but it's mainly like a ripened banana that I'm getting personally. I did like it. It's nothing I would buy a full size of, but I did like it. I think that's it outside of the ones that I've already done reviews on, but I'll mention them briefly. You also get Lavender Ever After, which I've talked about several times in videos. It's my all-time favorite juice. Merely, or not merely because, but a big part of that is because it's such a delicate and subtle flavor that I don't get sick of it. Like, I find it very relaxing. It's a lavender gelato, which gelato is similar to ice cream. It's not like identical, but like imagine ice cream but less creamy. It's kind of like like that sherbet consistency, where it's kind of like a popsicle ice cream kind of consistency, like if you put them together. But yeah, it's kind of hard to describe if you've never had gelato, but if you have had lavender ice cream, it's similar to that. And if you haven't had any of that, if you've had lavender tea, imagine that, but less, because I wouldn't say that it's very herbal. It's like maybe slightly, but it's definitely not like, because like there was another one that I tried from, I forget the name of it, but it's one of the, it's like a virgin vapor type thing where it's like all organic and all VG, whatever. I can't remember the name. But they have a lavender, and it's not bad, but it tastes like you're vaping like lavender potpourri. This Lavender Ever After does not vape like that. It's a creamy lavender. And I think the creamy or the gelato, whatever they use for that gelato part, it tames down the herbalness. I don't even know if that's a word. The herbal quality or whatever in the juice. I don't know, it just complements it well. And I could vape it all day, every day, if that's all I could ever vape and not get sick of it. So that you also get, and then you also get Cheshire Catnip, which I've also tried, and I did end up getting a full size of that a little bit, a while back. I haven't vaped the rest of it, but that one's kind of hard to describe. It's the closest thing that I can think of to relate it is Catnip Tea. And if you've never had catnip in any form, it is closely related to mint, like it's in the mint family, but not like a gum kind of mint. It's a herbal kind of mint. And that juice in particular is more herbally, not like in an off-putting way. It's still not like a potpourri kind of flavor. It's more refreshing. And if you're like sick of like vapor's tongue or whatever they call it, like if you have like flavor overload or whatever, it's like a good palate cleanser. Like vape that for like maybe a day, and it should kind of help with that, because it's such, I wouldn't say it's a subtle flavor, it kind of is, but it's just like it's refreshing. And I've heard people say that it has like a hint of anise in it, and I can kind of see that, and it might have that in there, but it's not the prominent flavor that I personally get, and it's not off-putting to me, because I'm not really a big black licorice or anise fan, but I do like anise in certain, combinations or whatever. Anyway, ranking these from favorite to least favorite, all of them together, even the ones in the previous video, my favorite is still Lavender Ever After, merely because I vaped it for so long that I know I definitely like it. And then a close second would be 11th Rose. I really do like that, and I probably will be getting a full size of it at some point. The third one would probably have to be Cheshire Catnip. Fourth one, Bombana. 5, Golden Afternoon. 6, Ginger by Sea. 7, Mind to Loose. And then the last one, and the one that I can't stand, is Very Little Cheesecake. Very Little Cheesecake is the only one that I find vile. At this point, I've tried almost all of their flavors. I couldn't tell you offhand the couple of ones that I haven't tried. I think I've tried everything from their main line, and obviously from the Oddity Sampler, I've tried everything from that line. I know that they came out with a new one that's on the main page, but I don't know why that went from, it just kind of went straight to main page. I don't really know why. It's called Tokala. Yeah, I haven't tried that one yet. But yeah, out of all of them, all of the ones that I've tried, the only one that I found disgusting was the cheesecake. But like I said, in its defense, I haven't really liked any cheesecake flavoring that I've tried. I did mess around with the Perfumer's Apprentice cheesecake with graham cracker crust or whatever, and I've had mild success with that, but I don't want to get too much on that. But that's like the only one that I've found remotely, appealing. All the other ones that I've tried are disgusting. So, I mean, it could just be that I can't vape that particular flavor. So I'm not really trying to bash it or whatever. But you get 8 flavors for $18. They're 3 milliliters each. They are tiny. Like when you get them, I mean, you're probably going to be surprised at how small they are. But if you know quantities, I mean, 3 mil isn't really that much. But in my opinion, it's enough for you to be able to tell whether you like it or not. Which is better than getting, like a 10 mil or whatever, and then finding out that you hate it, and then you're stuck with that. So I love the idea of the little sampler packs. I definitely recommend getting one of them, even if you don't get the Oddity one. Because the Oddity one, I think, is, I don't know if it's the most expensive, but like the main page one, they have like a little bit of everything. That one's kind of expensive, but it's because you get all of the flavors on like the main page or whatever, so it's going to be more expensive because there's more flavors. Then there's like another one that's like one step down that you can get on the main page, and it's where you pick like 4 or 5 different flavors, but you get to choose which ones you want, and then it's like for X amount of money. It's a little bit less expensive because you're getting less flavors. And then the Oddity Sampler, you're getting everything on the Oddity page, which I listed. They're the 8 flavors. So I'd recommend getting one of them. And then if you wanted to get the full size, my cat's chasing a fly. Anyway, full size is $11 for 15 mil, and then the prices go up from there depending on how much, you know, the quantity. And then I don't know about the Oddity room, but on the main page you have the option to get one form of it in plastic. I think it's the 18 mil you can get in plastic, and their plastic bottles are actually pretty nice. Like, you know, as far as plastic bottles go, I mean, it's good quality plastic. It's not chintzy, and you still get the little, because the full size bottles come with the little charms on them, and you still get the charm even if you get the plastic bottle. Anyway, that is it. Sorry I'm kind of delirious, but this is like the 3rd time I've tried doing this review today, and I don't even know how many times altogether that I've tried doing this review. I'm tired, work was horrendous, but I wanted to get this video up because the first part of the Allison Vapeland thing has been up for quite a while, and I just kind of like want to move on, get other videos going, because I have several other flavors I still need to review. So if you have any questions, comments, whatever, put them below. Hopefully you had a good 4th of July. Mine sucked, but